Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. It's time, after a lot of ranting videos, to slow something down and take a more calm and personal look at Doctor Who. And no, what better way to do that than to explore the genesis of my fandom, how I became interested in it all, how everything kicked off, and how, for me, Doctor Who was launched into my brain, and now it's here forever, and I'm just looking at my massive shelf. So one night, I must have been 5, my parents are flicking through the TV, and Doctor Who was on BBC Three. It was Daleks in Manhattan. It was a repeat of the previous week, of the previous episode. I don't know when it aired or whatever, but it was a repeat of that on BBC Three. Now, in my 5 years of life, I had a preconception with Doctor Who. I had a one that I would never watch it because it was far too scary and I was a bit of a wimp. But they left it on, much against my wishes, and as the episode sort of ran its course, and it was about halfway through already. It was about 15 minutes from ending, in fact. As it ran its course, I was starting to get really gripped by it, and sort of like, well, what's this? This looks awesome. So, I think for days after that, I was begging my parents for Doctor Who. Something I think I was 5, so it must have been like, when's Doctor Who coming back on? When's Doctor Who coming back on? I want to watch it again. So they obviously, I don't know how I acquired this, but they obviously just went out and bought the nearest thing they could find with Doctor Who stamped on it, and I got Series 3, Volume 2. And this is it. This is pretty much it here. This one DVD contains the whole start of this. The whole start of me loving Doctor Who. And I put this in there. It's really wrecked. I don't know if you can see that. It is like, around the edges, it's all got like loads of holes in it. It's all worn. On the look on the top, it's got loads of wear there. And I put this in the oven because I wanted to watch The Lazarus Experiment because I felt like rewatching it. And it's on Netflix, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put this disc on for old time's sake. I'm gonna put this very disc on, and honestly, I'm not sure how it worked because you can't see it on camera. Hello, figures, but it is wrecked. It is, yeah, you can sort of see it in like that. It is pretty wrecked, so I'm not sure how it worked. But this is it. This disc. There's the art there. That's kind of wrecked as well. It is completely knackered. It played fine. And watching it, I just thought, like... And The Lazarus Experiment was probably my second story, counting the Dalek two-parter as one. The Lazarus Experiment, I was watching it, and I know this isn't considered a good story from most people. It's not liked. But, you know, watching it, I can remember when I wasn't thinking critically like I do now. I wasn't thinking like that. I was on an adventure with the Doctor. I was on an adventure, a scary thrill ride, and I was loving every minute of it. Just this recent rewatch, I was loving every minute of it because it took me back to being 5 and putting this in. I used to like put it in, watch it, take it out, put it back in, and just marathon every episode on this. Like, that was my whole day, just watching it over and over and over again. It took me right back. Man, what can I say? I remember one incident, like, the audio setup is different on this, and my nan had a really old TV, so I went round to my nan's house and tried to watch this, and I was really confused because the picture was fine, but the sound wasn't working. It was all quiet. It turns out one of the cables had come out the back of the TV, and it was just this childhood crisis I had. It's just, yeah, just don't just, man, them memories. And The Lazarus Experiment, I was watching it, and I didn't really care if the effects were bad. I didn't really care if the story wasn't great. But when you're a kid, none of that matters. When you're a kid, it's all about the adventure for Doctor Who, and I was going on an adventure. I don't know why, but my eyes are really watering. Excuse that, I don't know why. My eyes are going weird. And then I think the next one, the next DVD, I'm not going to go through all the DVDs I got in order, don't worry. But these are just the notable ones that sort of made me what I am now. The next one was Volume 1. Yes, I got them out of order, guys. But sort of these two are sort of the ones that I almost cherish the most. Is this one wrecked as well? Let me have a look. It's worn a bit. Let's have a look at the disc. Yeah, that's also wrecked as well. Not as wrecked as Volume 2, but it's pretty bad. And this one, Smith & Jones, was the one I was watching over and over again. And do you remember those portable DVD players you had like in cars? Whenever I was on a long car journey, it was one of these 2 volumes that I would stick on and watch. And I remember one journey, the Shakespeare Code, the first scene really scared me. The witches, when Lilith sort of cackles at the camera before the title sequence, and my parents had to skip it. And it was really awkward in the car because it was playing, and that meant they had to lean over because it was in a car. I miss those times. Just these two, man. These two. And then the first one I watched as it was airing was Human Nature, I think. I think that was Human Nature I watched while it was airing. Didn't enjoy it that much. Obviously now I recognise it as a masterpiece because it was quite slow. I did not enjoy it as much as I may have wanted to. So I just thought, it's a Doctor Who episode I don't like, so I just watch all the others again. So I just sort of drowned myself in Doctor Who, and then came the time for the obsession of figures. And I'm sorry, I missed this time. I missed the time when I could go to Asda and I could buy Dalek Thay. I don't know. I've still got him actually. Oh wait, there. This figure here, bought from Asda, must have been 2008 at this point. I think I'd been into Doctor Who for a short time, but I had enough knowledge of it. This very Dalek Thay figure, you can tell it's Dalek Thay because of the things on the back. Bought from Asda. I was on the way home and I remember my granddad, he stopped because we were in the car and we stopped on the curb and talked to him, and he started pretending to be a Dalek, and it made my little mind just blow up because he was in a wheelchair. So it was like he started pretending to be a Dalek and he had the figure in his hand, and memories, man. Don't you just love it? Like when you walked into Asda, because it was so popular, it was just wall-to-wall shelves of figures, and that's mostly where my collections come from. I will show you now, pretty much. I'm just going to go through my figures and just tell you stories about some of them. So here's most of my figures. Let's pick out a few notable ones that say I had from when I was really young. Let's go. Actually, I can't think of many. Maybe here we'll probably, yeah, the Doctor and Companions one. Now a lot of that Jack Harkness figure has aged terribly. The paint's all coming off around him. It looks really bad. But those 10th Doctor figures, they were from Asda. This isn't an advertisement for Asda. By the way, I'm just saying this is where I got most of my figures. And oh god, yeah, I remember on one night I got a Martha figure. And my window, I leant out my window. My friend was coming home and she was like, she got a figure as well. And obviously we were still like 5 or 6. We were really young, and we were just shouting out of the window, "Which one have you got? Oh, I've got Martha. I've got a Scarecrow." And it was just really like that obsession of getting all those figures and just being absolutely obsessed with Doctor Who and just loving it. And just like I've got 2 of those Satan Pit figures. Let's go down a bit. And obviously, I don't like Voyage of the Damned too much, but it was my first Christmas special, and I was just sat there being like, Doctor Who, at Christmas! And that one Christmas, most of these figures that aren't from Matt Smith's, I got that one Christmas, and it was just piles and piles of just figures. We got the Arachnus there who's sort of fallen over, man, and like all of these are just there, And if I show you my Daleks, hold on, let's go over up here, the most up here, Jane from Firefly's fallen over. A lot of these I got when Matt Smith came, and I must have been, what was I, must have been 9 or 8, or maybe even 10 then. Loads of these Daleks. That one I got for Christmas one year. I wonder if there's any better. That flight control TARDIS was my life. I swear, I got that one night my parents bought me. I was just like flying it around, like reenacting the title sequence, and just like, and there's the Matt Smith one, reenacting the title sequence. It was just like, I loved it. And that one year I got a TARDIS playset. And that was great. For years I was playing with it wrong. I still had it on try me mode. I didn't notice there was a switch, or I was really disappointed that the things didn't move, even though they did. And that was there for ages. God, I miss those days. I miss the days when Doctor Who was popular. It still is popular, but like that fact again of like just walking into Asda and just getting loads of figures. It's just great, man. So sort of after I got into Series 3, I like delved into Series 2 and 1, and I remember being really sceptical about going back to 1 because David Tennant wasn't in it. And like he was like the Doctor I grew up on. He was the Doctor I saw everywhere. And like on the packaging that you never saw Eccleston because everyone's sort of forgotten about him. And watching Series 1, I was loving it just as I was loving Series 2 and 3 and 4 when it aired. And that whole era was just like, I remember just watching Doctor Who, all of the, pretty much, let me get Series 3 back, pretty much this whole section here, up to, I'd say, about Planet of the Dead, this was all just what I watched when I was growing up, as well as obviously Spider-Man, and loads of superhero stuff. But like when at the height of me being interested in Doctor Who, it was all of these. And I remember just loving it, and just every time, just absolutely being thrilled, and like thinking of all humming the theme at school and stuff. And obviously at school, like in primary school, I was known as the Doctor Who kid. I was known as the kid who always liked Doctor Who because I was pretty much the only one in my class that was obsessed with it. And not long after I got Volume 2 of Series 3, I found out that there was a magazine out specifically aimed at me, at my kind of audience, and it was called Doctor Who Adventures. Now, this isn't the first issue that I got. This is one of the early issues, but it's I don't think I still have the first issue. And I know there's a massive rip down here, but it's literally the earliest issue I could find that I have, and man, looking at all that merchandise. Look at that merchandise page. I had all of it. I don't know where most of them have gone, but I had all of that. We got an angle change here. My iPad is desperately in need of charge, so this is the only plug I can have with it. But yeah, this has just taken me right back. Here, a large inflatable chair, and I remember my school bought that as just a piece of furniture that the kids could sit on. And I wanted one desperately. I think I got one eventually. It didn't last long, it burst pretty quickly. But, yeah, I still had it. I had the puzzle ball, the figures, the Professor gift set. I must have had that at some point, because I have the figures in it. Cyberman wall clock. New series playing cards. Oh, a Cyberman school and lunch bag sets. I had one of them as well. I'm just flipping through these, and it's just a snapshot of an era that I have here. And it's wow! Look, welcome to the first Doctor Who Adventures of 2008. It actually says that. That's pretty. We've got news about Rose, a Banacafalata, mask for you to make, and you can find out more about Max Capricorn from Voyage of the Damned. The biggest news of all, though, is that from 17th of January, DW will be in the shops every week. See you then for more fun and monsters. Take care. Fantastic voyage. I remember these were like little It was sort of reviews of the episodes, but like they weren't reviews because they just were like, look at our favourite things, look at look at how great everything is. Oh my god, look! Who was that? We had loads of emails asking if that was actually a past Doctor in Time Crash. Wow. This was before I had discovered the classic series either, so yeah. More Who, Doctor Who magazine for older readers is out now. Yes, it is. Alex Sigworth's fave scene from The Sound of Drums. Terror scare factor 4 out of 5. Yes. Yeah. Alex Sigworth. I wonder if he's still a Doctor Who fan. I wonder if he's around somewhere. Ratatatat. Ratatatat. Oh my. That's terrifying. That is I obviously never made it. I'm surprised that didn't give me nightmares. That's terrifying. That is freaky. We've got Doctor galleries. We've got drawings. I sent mine. Oh wow. I sent mine in loads and they never put it in here. I remember getting it every week and being really disappointed with it. So many Cybermen, everyone. This is bringing back so many memories. Like, just reading all these biographies. Max Capricorn. The material it's made out of as well. Oh, and just the smell of it. I remember just getting it every week and just... Oh, man. So this was obviously the first one we went weekly. 2008 was pretty much the year where I got... They actually had behind the scenes stuff as well. It wasn't all like kiddie stuff. This 2008 was probably the year where I just went out with it. Went right out with just getting all the merchandise I could, because Series 4 was coming on and I was like, new Doctor Who that I can watch on TV as it's airing, and there was something so cool about that. And yeah, I had Series 3 and 2 and 1 that I could watch all the time on DVDs, but there was something so cool about when it was airing, seeing new Doctor Who for the first time live on TV. A Time Lord poem by Samuel Whitworth, age 9. Let's read this. So he age 9. So he's got to be... Wow, I need to just... He's got to be really old now. Ready for this. A Time Lord poem. 5 terrified Time Lords needing help some more. A Dalek screamed, exterminate, and then there were 4. 4 terrified Time Lords, feeling so empty. A Cyberman shouted delete, and then there were 3. 3 terrified Time Lords, a ghost went boo, a Toclafane beeped, I like you. Then there were 2 terrified Time Lords, scared to be gone. The Master cried, ah! And then there was 1. I want to hear what happened to that one Time Lord now, to be honest. Man, just all this, it's just... This is the... Look at that, spot the difference. Wow. I really don't know what the difference between that is. For one, it says bad dog, but I'm sure that's not the thing you're thinking of. Because they've just photoshopped a picture of Jackie Tyler just... looking really weird. Oh, man. And that's partly the reason why the RTD era I can't ever hate. And I know that the stories aren't the strongest, but I will always love it because it was my Who. It's just like people who grew up, who are growing up now on the Capaldi era, and they won't ever be able to hate stuff like Hellbent because it's what they grew up on, and that's fine. And like, this is what I grew up on, and it's just all this and all those Series 3 stuff. That my Who. Series 3 is my Who, and 4 was the Who that was on when I was watching the series that I first watched when it went out, and 1 and 2 were like the series I was watch over and over again on DVD, as I would with 3. It's just this video is probably really repetitive, but
it's just really cool for me to just sort of take a look down memory lane. And oh, of course you had the the next week gift set. In fact, I've got some more toys here. Just may as well just seen this in a video recently. Yeah, I got all these for Christmas the one year. Let's get you. I remember getting him and like being in pain because the harness in the back was cutting my hair. But yeah, these helmets, man. And I've got a Jadoon one as well, and the Jadoon are sort of a imperative monster for me because they're ones that I can remember laughing at because of the rhinoceros thing. I don't know what that says about them, but should I put this on? There's no it. I'm a Jadoon now, apparently. All the things inside are broken off, so I can't really... There's no harness or anything. I can't really place it down, otherwise it'll cut me. But, yeah. Ow. Ow. The thing about these helmets, they're really hard to take on and off because they just hurt. Let's just put it in there. And... Oh, I'm discovering more things. This video is going to go on for so long. And I remember having the sonic screwdrivers. And like... This isn't the original one I had, but it's one of the re-releases because I lost my original one, or it just got thrown away because it was so tatty. Yeah, the sonic screwdrivers. So you can imagine how sort of looking at all of this. This was my childhood with Who. You can imagine what was that. You can imagine how sort of devastated I was when they announced that David Tennant was leaving, and I was, and I was one of those people who was like, I'm never going to watch Doctor Who again, he's leaving, it's going to be awful. And when I saw the new logo, the Matt Smith logo, I hated it. I was like, no, I don't like it, I don't like the change. And then, give me a break, I was like 7 or 6, I was really young. And then it came out, the Matt Smith era, I was obsessed with it again. And I remember... the thing that I wanted most out of everything in the world, this was the thing I wanted most. And this is actually the original one that I had. I had some problems with these. The 11th Doctor Sonnet. Nice and loud, not like the new one, which is really quiet. I had some problems with it, and this is because I had about 4 of these before I got one that worked, and since then I've discovered that a batch of them didn't work. They sort of died out after a month, and that's what happened with me. So, this is like the 3rd one, but it's still the sort of one that I played with. I took it to school. I took it everywhere with me. I was pretending to be Matt Smith, and I was like, oh, he's so much better than David Tennant. Again, like, I can't really say which one better. I like both, now, of course, but like when I was young, like the new stuff seemed so cool, and it was hard to go back and watch the David Tennant era, even though I still would, because again the memories of being 5. Oh, actually, another thing before we sort of move on to my obsession with the Matt Smith era, another thing that I would go to frequently when I would go to Cardiff was the Doctor Who Up Close exhibition. Now this is what the band that I wore when I was like 5, or again just going around there, and like before I got into the classic series, they had like wow, this is like how small my hand must have been. It's like cutting off the circulation of my hand. Wow, it's just flaking everywhere now. But like before I got into the classic series, the monsters, seeing all the monsters, and like they had costumes that you press a button and they would light up, and they had sort of biographies on each Doctor, and I was like, oh, they look really old. It's so old-fashioned, and like they had stations where you could put headphones on and listen to the theme, and they had giant Rachnos above. Yeah, I just loved it, and that was a big part of growing up with Doctor Who. Obviously all the toys. Honestly, the biggest part of it was just remembering watching it all. So now moving on to the Matt Smith era. or Series 5 anyway. God. Now, I've put all the volumes away. I don't know where they are, because I've got the complete set. I've kept them, I just can't get to them at the moment. I think they're in Wales somewhere. they've just been sent across the country just because yeah. Then I'm never selling any of the volumes, even when I do get the upgraded sets, because they're so important to my love for Doctor Who and my childhood with it. And the Matt Smith era, again, for one Christmas I just got loads of figures of the Matt Smith of Series 5, and then 6 was out, and I remember just loving it at the time. I don't like it now, because I suppose if I had grown up with it when I was really young, I would like it, but I don't like it now, but I loved it then. And I was just so. And Series 5 Volume 1 was the other one, that was another one where I just watch it on a loop, just keep playing it over and over again, just like the Series 3 volumes and the Series 2 and the 1, and to a lesser extent the 4. Yeah. Who knew almost 10 years ago that I would, just from stumbling upon that on BBC 3 one night, that this would lead to this now, where I'm talking to a camera in my room with this all behind me, all of this that I've spent money on because I love it so much. It's just this. Who knew that was it? From that chance encounter on BBC would lead to all this. 10 years ago, I had no idea, and Doctor Who Adventures, and buying it every week and getting all the figures, and like I said, going into your supermarket and just like, there's so many and they're so cheap, you can buy them all, and getting all the play sets, and getting the new volumes that came out, and just watching them over and over again, having marathons. And yeah, I may have lost faith in Doctor Who now. I may have completely lost faith in it. But when I look back at all these, when I look back at Doctor Who Adventures, when I get all my old toys out, when I get all my old DVDs out, when I get all my old figures out, I just think this captivated me so much, and I wouldn't be here talking to a camera now if it hadn't. I would be completely different. So it's just something that I don't think Doctor Who is something I will ever truly abandon. There was a point in around Series 7, I just wasn't interested in it anymore. But it was still my biggest passion. I just wasn't really interested. But I never grew out of it, because it was always just, again, at school, I was known as the Doctor Who kid, because I was just obsessed with it, and I still am. And when I look back, the RTD era is my era. When I look back at it all, it just makes me feel so nostalgic, and just about the amazing times with it when I was younger, and just, yeah. Do you have any sort of childhood memories of Doctor Who that you would like to share? Please do in the comments, because I've loved doing this, taking a trip down memory lane. Just, yeah, just this was great. I really enjoyed this video. Really making it it's just sent me right back down on a trip down nostalgia road. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care now. Now I've got to put all this stuff away that I just got out for this. It's going to take a while.